Hey guys, American Trucker here with my America We're Always Ready grunt style shirt on. You all know I wear grunt style a lot. I have a lot of their shirts. And again, I said in my other videos, no, they don't sponsor me, but I have no problem if they want to send me some free shirts. Because I haven't bought any in a while, but I got a ton of them. I probably got at least 20. Anyways, um, I like their shirts. They got American flag on all of them, pretty much on one side, and then the same logo, grunt style. I don't know if you can read that if it's backwards or not. This will defend on that side. Anyways, that's not what I want to talk about. Today I wanted to talk about stepping outside of your comfort zone a little bit. So I guess what I really mean is getting out of the truck, especially right now in this freight market. What I'm saying by that is you have time to go, like I just did, to a restaurant that I parked at this particular Planet Fitness. It's in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I think it's the only one. So there's a couple of restaurants definitely within walking distance from here, and there's this Indian restaurant that I've seen every time I've been here, and I thought about going in there, and I just, I stay within my comfort zone. I go to a restaurant that I'm familiar with, and then when I leave, I regret it. I said, hey, I should have went in there. I've never went and ate in an Indian restaurant before. So this time I did. So I wasn't going to leave here this time without at least going in there. And I'm not a big spicy food guy, but I went in there and it was not bad at all. I'm not saying it was my favorite, but it tasted better than I thought it would. And the guy that took my order gave me the option of spicy or mild. So I wimped out, picked mild. But either way, it was pretty good. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't, I wouldn't go there a lot. But now I know, at least I know. I'm not going to leave here now again and say, man, I should have went there and tried that, food. I may go over there and visit one day. So I kind of like to know what the food tastes like. But anyways, get off the truck. There's too much time, in my opinion, as far as making money. But I guess plenty of time if you want to sightsee a little bit while you're out here. So my advice on that is get your load as soon as possible. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's picking up tomorrow. If you can show up today and just say, hey, I know my load don't pick up tomorrow, but I was just checking and see, can I spend the night? Where's the closest place? Whatever. I've done that twice this week, and 2 times I've picked the load up a day early. Now, if that's dropping hooks, that's perfect. You can get on the road, drop it off as soon as you can get there. Perfect. That's how you make money out here. You hustle. But both of these loads that I did that with, they were not dropping hooks. They had appointment times that you couldn't show up and drop off early. But what that does is let me go ahead and get on the road a day early on both of those cases and take my time, right? Get ahead of schedule. I always want to be waiting on the drop-off end. I don't want to be trying to frantically get to the drop-off because I took my time on the front end, right? I want to hustle on the front end and then get there where the drop-off is and then be waiting on them to let me drop off, if that makes sense. Some guys get out here and they take their time on the front end, and the next thing you know, the last day, they got 6 hours to get there or wherever they're going, and they're only 4 hours away, and they think, well, I got plenty of time. Then they hit traffic, and then construction, and then this, that, whatever. And now they're sweating bullets trying to get to their drop-off. You don't want to do that if you can help it, right? Sometimes that's just the way it goes, depending on the load, especially back when freight was plentiful. But right now, it's definitely slow. But I still like to hustle on the front end, and I like to wait once I get all the way there or as close as possible, where I know there's not going to be any hiccups or make me late for any reason. But if you do that, then you leave time to go try restaurants. I'm not skating, but there was a skate park. If you're, into skating, of course there's gyms. There's just things to do a lot of times, depending on where you park at, and you can kind of plan some of that stuff out. You got a little bit more time if you hustle and then get there, and then on your 10-hour break or whatever, go explore a little bit. Especially if it's somewhere you've never been before. I mean, if you're going by the Grand Canyon and you got plenty of time, to get to where you're going, a full day or whatever extra on top of, what you need to drive, if you can find a place close by and you've never been there before, park close by, get an Uber, rent a car. You know, a lot of these car rental places, depending on where you're at, they'll bring it to you, to your truck, and then they'll bring you back to your truck when you're done to, you know, to pick it up or whatever. So just kind of think outside the box a little bit. I mean, if you're somewhere you've never been before, and a lot of people get into trucking, especially if they're younger, and they don't have a lot of life experiences. They may have never even left their, you know, I know people who never left the county before, or you know, definitely not their state, and you know, things like that. So there's a lot of things to see in this world. Get out, and it's my advice. And if you're out somewhere and you're in this market right now and you got time, take advantage of it. One, it gets you off the truck. Nobody wants to just sit on the truck all day long. And well, I mean, some people like gamers and stuff like that, but you know, that's a different generation than, you know, me. I don't have any gaming system. I don't have a TV or anything. I watch YouTube sometimes on my phone, but that's like the most thing I do on my truck. I try to get off my truck as much as possible. But yeah, do something, physical activity, do some kind of sightseeing. You know, I pass stores, and then, you know, I get in that hustle mindset, and I say, you know, in the past couple years at least, anyways, I say, you know, I ain't got time. I need to keep going. But now I have time. So now all the places I hustle on the front end, and if I pass somewhere, once I get close to where I'm going, or almost, you know, I see something that I want to stop at a store, or you know, some kind of factory outlet or something that you always say, man, that's pretty cool. I want to stop by and see the Corvette Museum or something like that here in Kentucky. I just went by that today. But things like that, you know, if you could pull over, find a safe place to park, look at Google Maps, find it somewhere close by that maybe within walking distance, park there, and you know, go see some of that stuff. So you may never, you never know, you may never have another chance again to see some of that. So take advantage of the time right while you can. Don't look at it as a negative. I know you got to pay bills and things like that, but you know, you got to worry about the things that you can control, right? If there's a day in between loads, which, you know, that's almost seeming par for the course right now in this market, at least from my standpoint, then don't sit there and fret about that if you can't do anything about that, right? Take advantage of the situation. Say, okay, I got time on my hands. What can I do with that time, right? You could use that time to educate yourself more on, you know, where to park at, or anything to do with trucking if you want it, but also take a little, you know, time to decompress, you know, and go look around, and you know, do a little bit of sightseeing if you can. Try some new restaurants, you know, go to some stores you've never been to, or you know, some cool places that you can drive by, or you know that you're going to be driving by. So you have plenty of time to work on planning routes out. You got plenty of time, you know, from my opinion right now, in general, you got plenty of time to stop a few places. You know, don't be extreme. Like I said, you definitely don't want to be on the back end trying to stress getting to your drop off. But if you hustle on the front end, you have time on the back end to kind of do some of that stuff. So a little bit of that's part of mental health, right? We got physical health out here. I always talk about going to the gym, but you know, mental health as well. Get off the truck. You've heard me say that in some other videos. Get off the truck every chance you get within reason, right? You know, there's plenty of things out here that don't cost anything that you can do, or don't cost much. Another good way is if you want to put, you know, a bicycle. It depends. Some people actually take the wheel off. You know, there's some bikes out there that you can easily take the front wheel off, and put it inside your truck if you want to, or find a way to fix it to the catwalk on the back of your truck, and you know, you can go a lot farther like that as far as sightseeing. Or if you just park somewhere within a couple of miles, you'll be pretty close to a lot of things that you could go see that normally you wouldn't want to walk to, or you know, it depends on the person. So just kind of think outside the box. Use this extra time if you have it, to your advantage. Don't fret over, you know, things that you can't control. Take advantage of, you know, situations and look at it as a positive. But so that's my new thing. Summer's coming up. I don't like to run on treadmill. You know, I'm going to talk about physical fitness in my video, but more than likely. But I am going to look into some trail running. That's my favorite thing to do. I hate running on a treadmill, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. I'd rather run on a treadmill though than run in the city. One, traffic, but two, all the smog, and you know, from all the cars going by, and you're just, you know, you're sucking wind anyways, trying to catch your breath if you're pushing it, and I don't want to sit there and breathe a bunch of exhaust from 1,000 cars going by and you're on the main road or something, on on the side of a small highway or whatever. But anyways, my thing is going to be start doing some trail running. So I'm going to start planning my routes and looking for parks or places where I can do some trail running, and that'll be kind of what I start looking for now, and a little bit more sightseeing, like I said. Trying some restaurants, stopping by places that I keep saying I'm going to stop by, but before I didn't have time because it was back to back and loads were plentiful. Things like that. And I do owe you guys a payday video. Nothing impressive at all this week either. So last week was terrible, but that's because I came off home time and then I had a emergency repair, things like that. This week I really didn't have any excuses to why this week wasn't good, other than freight is not paying that great here where I'm at right now, or anywhere as far as I know, and it's just too much time between loads. You put those two things together, you can hustle all you want, and the money's still not going to be what it was 2 years ago. When I say 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, this video is being made in the first week of May of 2023. So 2020, 2021, 2022, the market has definitely changed. But even though I haven't been in the market or in the truck driving business that long, I do know it's cyclic. So it cycles is what I mean. It goes up, it goes down. Right now, we are definitely, in my opinion, I think we're at the very bottom. It could get worse, but there's people that's got in over their skis the last couple of years and they're going out of business left and right. Got into trucks that were way overpriced and things like that. So that needs to happen. That's natural selection, if you want to say. I hate it for that person, but everybody makes their own decisions. And if you got in a year and a half ago and bought a truck for $250,000, $225,000, $200,000, and you didn't have no money in the bank or nothing in your maintenance account or anything like that, and you got onto a place that was paying $4, $5, $6 a mile per load, and everything was good for however long, and then you got a bigger house, bigger car, bought that Corvette or whatever you did, and based your bills off that high freight market and that truck payment and all that good stuff, then when freight goes down and you can't afford, something's got to go, the Corvette, the truck, semi truck or whatever, you got to move out of the house and find somewhere to rent or whatever the case may be, then that's just that's part of life. That's how you learn, right? I believe everybody who's probably my age or older, and I'm 47, but it's probably had some financial struggles at some point in time in their life. And of course, unless we're born with a silver spoon in their mouth, I wasn't, but you got to live and learn, right? So the good thing is, if you're watching this, you still got time to rebound, right? If you made some bad choices, some bad decisions, the first thing you got to do is just admit that. Don't play the victim card. Own up to it, and then say, hey, okay, I'm gonna learn from this, and then moving forward, what am I gonna do better next time? Whether you stay in trucking or whether you get out, finances are finances. You gotta learn to budget and live within your means. All right, we want everything now. We want everything on credit card. We want, if we can go down the bank and they give us money, we'll take it, right? That's the kind of society we live in now. I'm thankful that I never made any major mistakes, and I'm also thankful that my mom and dad really taught me how to budget and a lot about finances. A lot of people don't have that from their parents, and they definitely don't teach that in school, and I never understood that at all. Why in the world do they not teach finance and interest rates and how that can affect you and all that stuff in school is beyond me. Some of the most important thing you'll learn in your life is how to budget, how to control your finances. But that should be a whole subject that you mandatory take to graduate high school, in my opinion. But of course, the big credit card guys and the big banks and all that stuff, everybody who makes money off people, right? They don't want you to know any of that stuff. They just want you to say, hey, here, come get this money. You can pay us back. We'll make payments really low, right? Come buy this car, come buy this house. And that's what happens. People don't really know what they're doing, don't have a good mentor, or they get excited and get caught up in a moment, and they go spend beyond their means, and next thing you know, they're upside down, and the job went away, or whatever the case may be, and then they can't afford it, and then now they're blaming it on everybody else but themselves. But I understand there's some people in some situations, but way less than a lot of people want to let on. Like, they always want to, a lot of people want to act like it's not their fault, but at the end of the day, most people, it probably is their fault. And again, I've been on that end before. Like I said, nothing major, thankfully, but I've been on the point where I was trying to keep up with the Joneses, and overspending and all that stuff. But that's part of life. You live and learn. Hopefully you learn. Hopefully you learn, you grow from it, and you're better off next time around when it comes back to that exact same situation. But now I'm rambling, but I think trucking market will get better. I mean, if history repeats itself, it's got worse, better, worse, better. It's like the stock market. So I think the trucking market, unless it goes to some kind of automated system or something, it will come back, right? The supply and demand, just like anything else. And I think we're in a down market right now, but if this is a good time to budget, right, off of this market, and keep your budget there. If you can do that, scale back, get rid of the toys if you need to, get rid of anything you got payments on, and then focus on paying your bills, right? Especially if you got a family, you owe it to them, right? Not to be splurging on, you got a wife and a couple of kids or something. You can't be out here buying, $80,000, $90,000 diesel trucks and stuff like that. I mean, if you can't afford it, if you don't have the money to afford it, and it don't sound reasonable, then what are you doing with that when you're out here driving a truck 4 to 6 weeks at a time, and you're home for a week or 10 days at a time? But anyways, find you a good financial mentor if you're not good with money, or if you're young and you haven't had the type of money that trucking can bring you. If you worked, say you're 20s or something, you've only worked at McDonald's or Walmart or places like that where you haven't made much money at all, and you come into trucking, you're going to make more money than you probably have before. And if you don't know what to do with it, or how not to get yourself into those situations, find someone that's financially savvy and ask them if they will mentor you. Tell them the situation, be honest with them, and that's what you do, right? Try to learn from somebody else's mistakes, and or learn from your own mistakes. But if somebody can give you some advice, and they are a good source, or they know what they're talking about, or you believe they do, at least anyways, maybe heed their advice a little bit, because they've probably been where you're at some point in time, more than likely. So anyways, that's it, guys. This video has went way too long. I owe you a payday video coming up. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Today's the 5th, Friday, May the 5th, 2023. So I'm gonna try to do a video tomorrow, Saturday, and get that out to you guys, and just kind of let you know. If you've watched my other videos, you know that if I'm doing payday videos currently, at least. I don't know how long I'll do them, but it's just to let you know where the market is right now, right? No matter how hard you work, I've took every load this week, at least anyways, that they've offered me, and delivered on time. I've got all the delivery bonuses that you get if you make sure you delivered on time, things like that. I've really watched. I'm about to sweat right now because I'm not even running my APU. I'm trying to save fuel. I'm about to put the windows down. Been doing that to try to save on fuel cost, things like that. Running the truck a little bit easier. I still probably go a little too fast, to be honest with you, but I probably need to slow down the truck a little bit, worry a little bit more about my fuel. But you got to do what you got to do. But anyways, I try to be realistic. That's why I want you guys to know. I want you guys to have realistic expectations. If you're just getting into this, or if this is the first time you're watching some videos to try to figure out, do you want to get in trucking or not? What's the pay like? Right? It's not to brag whether I make a lot of money, and it's not to be embarrassed if I don't make a lot of money. If somebody's out there making more money than me, that's fine. I just need to give you a realistic expectation. If you're coming to Prime, what is currently going on as far as pay wise. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. My truck, I did very well my first year with Prime leasing their truck, and then I was able to buy my truck in cash, a used truck, but I paid cash for it, and that's really paying off for me right now. So I do feel for those guys that have a truck payment, or they're, you know, if they're leasing with Prime, they're still making money. But you know, that lease payment, not having that lease payment right now for me is gold. But it took a lot of hard work and discipline, and I had to save a lot of money, and I give up a lot of money to buy this truck. So I had a lot of money in the bank, and I bought this truck. It was a little nerve-wracking spending that much money. That's the most money I've ever spent at one time in cash, but right now it's keeping me stress-free, not having that payment, APU payment or truck payment, and you know, it's helping a lot. But what I do in my videos, I usually tell you what I net, right? There's gross and there's net, right? I usually tell you from start gross down to net, and there's expenses in between, and then the net is before taxes. But I also let you know, like, hey, if you have a lease payment, you can subtract this much more, and this is probably what I would have made if I had a, you know, if I were leasing still with Prime with a lease payment. That way you guys kind of have a good gauge, because most people at Prime are leasing currently, or if they come in Prime, they're probably going to lease. They may go company, but most people coming to Prime, majority of them, I'm pretty sure, go leasing, or even if they go company, they eventually go, you know, the lease route after they get comfortable. Not everybody, but it, you know, just depends on the person. It's got to be, you know, fit their situation. But anyways, this is an extremely long video. If you got any questions or comments, let me know. Please like the video or dislike. Tell me if you disagree, or if you agree with anything, or if you got any comments that might help anybody else out, or if you want me to do a video on any specific thing. I still owe the one guy that watches my videos I owe him a video on taxes whenever I bought this truck. I bought it from Pedigree Sales. If you Google that, Pedigree Sales, Springfield, Missouri. Basically, they take Prime's end of cycle trucks, whether they got 400,000 miles on them, 500,000 miles, or whatever the case may be, and they sell Prime's trucks and trailers, and they do an exceptional job. I've not had one problem, not one problem yet out of this truck that was the truck's fault. The emergency maintenance thing I had, that was my fault. So I didn't wreck or anything, but that was I might do a video on that. That was the airlines, but it was too tight. It got cut on the catwalk. Basically, it was too loose, and it was sagging down. There's hooks that hold the airlines up just real quick, and they, through vibration, you know, coming down the road, they got loose and it started sagging, and then one of the airlines got caught underneath the catwalk, and I made a sharp turn, and it basically ripped the airline out, and that's what the emergency repair is about. And it was on a Sunday. I was literally in the middle of an intersection. It ripped the trailer airline out, and the airbags, they were you know, completely deflated, which in turn locks the wheels up. I was going a few miles an hour, so it didn't mess up the trailer or my truck, but I had to get that. I was literally in the middle of an intersection, and a guy come out. It was just a glad hand he replaced, but he had to cut the hose in the glad hand, crimp it down. You know, if I'd had the tools and the glad hand, I would have done it myself for sure. But I looked everywhere. It was on a Sunday, and I was in the middle of an intersection, so it was an event. But I got through it, but it cost me. But anyways, I haven't had one problem with the truck thus far, so I'm super happy with that. Hope that keeps going. That's going to be a big, you know, maintenance money saver if I can just kind of, you know, keep the wheels turning and just do general maintenance on it as long as possible. But it's inevitable, of course. It's gonna, at some point in time, you're gonna have problems. I mean, it's impossible not to have a truck and never have problems. But so you need to be prepared for that. But anyways, what was I getting at? Oh yeah, where I bought the truck. I will got a video on how the taxes work, right? paying taxes on the truck. Who pays that? Do I pay that, or does Prime pay that because I'm leased on to them, right? So I owe you a video on that, and then once I get just a tad bit more information, I'm going to make that video. This video is now over 25 minutes long, so that is way too long. I doubt anybody's even still watching, but if you are, I appreciate it. Please subscribe, like, tell me if you want me to make a video on a certain topic from my point of view, my opinion, right? It ain't fact. You watch any of these YouTubers out here, don't just take everything they say for gospel. You know, watch a few of them and then start to see, you know, hey, is this guy, you know, acting like he's making $1 million right now in this trucking economy? And then, oh, by the way, use my driver code. You know, again, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I use the guy's driver code. Matter of fact, his name is No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. If you haven't subscribed to his channel and you're thinking about coming to Prime, you're messing up. He's got all kinds of videos, and he keeps you current on what's going on. He started with 1 truck. Now he has, I think, 2 or 3. But he's got a lot of information. He's older. He's also a former fellow Marine like myself. And that's who I put down for my driver code. So it wasn't because of anything that he said that just made me think that he was just out here making money hand over fist. And that's, you know, I came to Prime because of that. It was because of the information I was looking for and trying to figure out, you know, who was blowing smoke and who was just trying to juice everything up for the referral code money and things like that. And I feel like he was pretty much being honest with me in all his videos, and still is. So I really like his channel. I suggest you guys check him out. Again, if you put in No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, it'll come up. And then you know, start from his earlier videos, and you can watch him kind of progress to where he's at now, and then I'll kind of give you a really good idea of what's going on here at Prime. But anyways, subscribe. Let me know if you want me to make a video. And then I feel like I'm always missing something, but as long as this video is, I'd be surprised if anybody watches it this long. But hey, I get rambling sometimes. You get older like that, you just start rambling. So I'm gonna stop that. All right, guys, American Trucker, I'm out.